Not proud of it, man enough to say it. I was one of those guys back in 2020, 2024, shit, even 2016 before I could vote. I was all for Trump. I was all for MAGA. I believed he was going to make America great again. I believed he was going to drain the swamp. I thought he was going to be different. He wasn't a career politician. And boy, was I wrong. My views didn't change. They still remain the same. I did fall for the deception, though, because I can't in good conscience support someone who's responsible for a pointless war where thousands of innocent lives are dying every single day. I can't support someone who mocked Christ on Easter. I sure as hell can't support someone who calls the people who want transparency on one of the most heinous and insidious acts in human history, the Epstein files, calls them liars and lunatics. He's probably a part of it himself. Can't support that. When it comes to politics, it's hard to even align myself with one of the parties because they're both being controlled by the same puppeteers at the top. So I was wrong. Not proud of it. Man enough to say it.
To all of you maggots out there who are apologizing now for voting for Trump, you are not forgiven. You were warned. You were warned when he bragged about assaulting women, grab them by the pussy. You were warned after January 6th when he incited an insurrection. You were warned when he was found liable for sexual abuse long before we even knew about Epstein. You were warned when he was convicted of 34 felonies. And you were warned when his businesses kept collapsing and he declared bankruptcy 6 times. You didn't miss it. You chose to ignore it. And now that it's hitting you and you want sympathy? Fuck no. You don't get redemption for finally catching up. This is your fault. This mess is your fault. So take your apologies and shove them up your ass.
Maybe unpopular opinion, but I actually don't think that the people who are starting to wake up and leave the MAGA movement deserve any grace whatsoever from me. You all were told straight to your faces what to expect. You had all the access, all the resources, all the time to see what was in Project 2025. If you didn't read it, that is not on me. Mocking that reporter wasn't a deal breaker. Grab her by the wasn't a deal breaker. All the lawsuits, the scandals, the files, those weren't deal breakers. Him filing for bankruptcy wasn't a deal breaker. E. Jean Carroll wasn't a deal breaker. The censorship of the media wasn't a deal breaker for you. The ICE raids in Minnesota weren't a deal breaker for you. The American citizens that have lost their lives because of it weren't a deal breaker for you. But now, gas is expensive. And he started a war. And things are starting to affect you now. Now, all of a sudden, it's not what you voted for. So you're saying that all the other stuff was fine, that's what you voted for, but not this. And I'm supposed to applaud you and welcome you back into my life because you've woken up. Have you? Your entire ideology is owning the libs. But you owned the libs a little too close to the sun this time, didn't you? And now it's affecting you directly. Actions have consequences. It is so unfortunate that I'm not allowed to say what I actually want to say on here.
They also did not care about the elderly, the veterans, and the disabled who got their cuts to social programs. They're only regretting because it's affected them personally. But the damage has been done and the consequences cannot be reversed. So let's get to see more. Please like and have the video and let me know your thoughts in the comments, alright? Let's get into it.
There are white people going viral right now for their regret over voting for Donald Trump. And I put that word into heavy quotation marks because I genuinely question if they even know what the word regret means. One woman in particular got on TikTok crying a whole theatrical production about how people are not greeting her with open arms, how they're being mean to her in her comment section. Lady, are you fucking for real? Somehow you are the victim, not the millions of people harmed by the very system that you voted to prop up not once, not twice, but 3 fucking times. Not the immigrants who lost their family members to deportation or concentration camps. Not the communities of color who have been terrorized by the very policies that you voted to enable. You're the victim because people were mean to you in your comment section. And this tells me everything I need to know about your regret. You're not sorry, you're uncomfortable, and you're confusing the two. You claim that you're doing the work, yet at the first sign that that work becomes difficult, you make videos crying to garner sympathy for yourself. So the emotional labor falls on everyone else again. And then to make it worse, there's a whole slew of people in her comment sections coddling her. Oh, you're such a good girl because you realize that you made a mistake by voting for him 3 times. It's so brave of you to speak up. Then some of you have the fucking audacity to police how other people respond to this video. Specifically, the people that MAGA spent years targeting: people of color, the LGBTQ community, immigrants. You want them to welcome ex-MAGA with open arms. You want them to perform forgiveness for your comfort. The people that we should all have sympathy for are the ones who have been harmed, not the ones who do the harming and are now sad because everyone remembers. But here's the part that really gets me. Same crying video. She said she won't be voting in future elections. So instead of working to dismantle the oppressive system that you helped build, your solution is to throw your hands up and do nothing but cry online. That is not remorse. That is not doing the work. That's pandering for likes and comments to appease your praise kink. That's demanding forgiveness without actually earning it. Look, if people want to coddle ex-MAGA voters, that's your prerogative. Nobody can stop you for handing out participation trophies. But if you are an alleged regretful MAGA, do not expect anyone to forgive you. Do not expect a warm welcome. Do not expect marginalized communities to throw you a fucking parade. Do the fucking difficult work. Sit with your discomfort. Sit with the fact that people are rightfully angry at you. And sit with the fact that your regret doesn't undo any of the damage that you caused. The only way you will maybe, and that's a big if, be welcomed back into a society that is rightfully skeptical of you is if you spend the rest of your life proving that you are worth redemption. That means voting for progressive candidates who actually want to help people. That means showing up to protests. That means putting your fucking body on the line. That means doing the hard work even when nobody is clapping for you. Otherwise, save your fucking tears and go cry about it in your journal.
Hold on, what did you just say about Trump?
I said, Trump's a fucking liar. Inflation's going up. Gas prices hasn't really come down that much. Eggs? Oh, that's the funny one. The eggs. I'm mad. And I'm a mega man. Okay? I don't see anything he's done.
So is it safe to say that the illusion has faded?
I think it has, yes. You know, I was for him because, you know, everything he said, you know, he played right into my hands. He just told us everything we wanted to hear. That's what he did. I can't even stand to look at him because, you know, he's just he's a con. He's a flat ass, nothing but a fucking con.
Hi, I'm Courtney and I left MAGA. I was a huge Trump supporter back in 2015 and 16, and then C-19 hit in 2019. And that's when I realized that the number one job of the president, to protect the citizens of the United States, he failed at miserably. Then came the election lies, the drama, J6, and it hit me. This guy does not care about us. All he cares about is himself. And listen, it is not easy changing your beliefs, veering off course, especially when that means telling your friends, your family, people that you've known your entire life that your views have changed, that you disagree with them, that your fundamental views are completely different, that you're unlearning things, that you're questioning them. You start to learn that it's not actually about Trump or MAGA. It's an entire belief system. And that's why organizations like Leaving MAGA are so important. It's a community to fall into. It's a safe space to land. Oftentimes when you don't have anywhere else.
Are you leaving MAGA? Congratulations. That's great. I don't trust you. I see creators on here and they're like, oh, well, people are leaving MAGA and they're like waking up to the lies and we should be welcoming. Okay. I'm a very welcoming person. That's awesome. My mom just told me that she's no longer conservative, that she's not there anymore. But here's the thing. What else? Like, okay, have you awakened to the bigotry and the hate and the bullshit inside of you that led you to believe that any of that was okay, that that was a decent person, that that was somebody who should lead our fucking country? Have you woken up to that? Because if you haven't, you're just gonna do it again. You still hate people like my kid. And even if you don't, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna be more tolerant, all it's gonna take is one fucking trans person to do something that you don't like, and you're gonna go, oh yeah, that's why. What? All right, now what? If you're not any different and you're just going to turn around and vote for the same person again next time who's just a little more palatable, who's not quite as like abrasively evil, you know, then we're just in the same boat. So, you know, great. Love it. Awesome. Yay. Welcome to the sunny side of the street. But I don't trust you. And I don't feel bad about that. Good luck.
Hot take. The only way that I will mend a relationship with a Trump supporter or somebody who voted for Trump is if they regret their vote and then they actively work to repair some of the damage that they've done.
I'm sorry, I guess. Is that what I should say? I mean, I don't mean to do it on purpose, but if you tell me that you voted for Trump not once, not twice, but 3 times, I'm going to laugh in your face. Yeah. I'm going to laugh because it strikes me as funny that someone could be that out of touch. That wow. It's a wow for me. Yeah. It kind of lets me know exactly what you're all about. So yeah, when you tell me that you voted for him 3 times, I'm going to laugh in your face. I can't help it. It's just because wow, you couldn't figure out after all these years just how awful this person is. You couldn't figure it out. You couldn't see. You just couldn't, Yeah, I can't help myself. Just so you know, I'm going to laugh right in your face.
That is very true. People who voted Trump 3 times, that was a choice. Once can be a mistake, but 3 times, that's a pattern, And the Trump voters cannot tell us that they lacked information because Trump served as a president in his first term, People saw his governing style, his policies, the controversies that surrounded him, the court cases, the investigations, and the division, and yet millions still chose him. So that was a choice. And I've seen it's a pattern that many Trump voters are coming out to regret after losing their jobs, after their businesses are suffering, after their benefits are being threatened, and when prices are rising, like groceries and even gas. But where was that empathy when immigrants and minorities were being treated unfairly, Where was that outrage when other groups were being targeted, you see? So forgiveness requires more than saying I was wrong. It requires acknowledging the harm that was caused and understanding who was being affected, because a simple apology cannot undo the harm that was being caused, People need to understand that elections have consequences, votes matter, policies matter, and leadership matters too. But unfortunately, people vote out of emotion and not out of fact. The choices people make at the ballot box, they affect families, businesses, veterans, retirees, workers, and even future generations. So people need to be very keen when making that choice and educate themselves about policies. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.